Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching here. I have a good amount of leadership team watching these programs. It could be PMP, it could be PMI-ACP, it could be Scaled Agile or Leadership Program. It's always interesting to keep learning something every year. And I keep recommending people learn something new every other year. So now I have Abhishek in front of me, and Abhishek is so excited with the morning coffee. And he says that, hey guys, I've done with my Agile course. So many have a confusion. What is PMI, PMP or PMI-ACP? Both are same. Which is weightage? I would tell both has its own value. So PMP is more of leadership with Agile, and ACP will be depth of Agile. If somebody want to really learn what is Agile, PMI-ACP is the best course because it has Scrum, Kanban, XP, Lean Management. It goes deep inside, right? So in that, somebody got expertise and cleared certification called PMI-ACP. First, congratulations to Abhishek for this great achievement.
Thanks, Shreya.
Right. What we do is we'll bring up your certificate. I like this certificate. I'll tell you why I like this certificate. Well, here it goes. Abhishek Mohan, and he's a product operations person. You know why I like this certificate? There is speciality in this color. Okay. Earlier PMI used to follow this color, a little bit lighter and higher, and blue. Blue is their PMI color usually for all the certificates. And then recently for PMP, it became orange. If anybody observed last 6 months, they've changed the color to orange. But the old people still like that blue. The blue of PMP is always a rock color. And then now when I see this for ACP, I feel, okay, good. Somewhere they're maintaining the color. They didn't leave that color. That's their brand color, okay? So PMI-ACP is always a special certificate. Even when I did it, I thought it's, okay, another Agile certificate in the market, like you call us a CSM certificate, other certificate. But only when you sit and read, we come to know that this guy is going very deep inside, right? Good. So let's listen from Abhishek. Abhishek, how the thought of Agile came to you?
Well, to be very honest, it was from the day-to-day activities, right? So I've been looking at, so it was a surprising role. So we had a previous project manager who left the organization and he went there to another firm. So to fill in that gap, they pushed me into that actually. So that's when it started. So I started reading up on things and the Agile part of the world because I was completely into software development before that, and I transitioned into this period, right? So it was completely new. So it was starting to get more interesting. Agile concepts, the release training, ART, the release trains, and all those things. Started getting over there, but I wanted to at least get started and at least assist my team. So I was given a team of 5 members initially, right? So developers. So initially it was all haywire. Everyone's doing their own work and everything. So I wanted to get some process. So it was more of reading, trying to get an implement process based on that. So that's when I decided I think a course would help me out at least to process the team, at least in those lines.
Nice. Rightly said. Setting the process clear for the team is very important. And Agile is something very lightweight. When you say Agile, it's lightweight, but when you come to implementation, definitely there will be pushback from the team. Certain things they won't. There's a man, this won't work.
So that is the stereotype. Everyone thinks Agile is only Scrum. Like most of people. So when you go into that and you try to explain, they'll be like, "Oh, this is also there." Okay, that happens. So that's what I experienced as well. Everyone's like, "Oh, Agile means Scrum." That's it. There's so much of detailing into that. So that's when I
exactly. See, I first did a CSM certificate, Certified Scrum Master. I thought that's Agile world. Okay, that's it. A Scrum Master will have a sprint running, and there'll be some events in the sprint over. Then when I came to PMI-ACP certificate, they started showing something different. They started showing Kanban. They started going deep inside on definition of ready, definition of done, technical depth, retrospective, spike. They said, man, a lot of stuff there. These guys are going too much. So I think those things, I feel as a leader, we have to learn it. As a team member, I think having Scrum knowledge is sufficient if you're a team inside. But if you want to lead a team, you want to run a show, I'm sure you have to have multiple knowledge with you, right? We call it T-shaped knowledge, covering other areas. Very good. So how do you catch up with the books? Are you able to quickly read and get it, or how was it?
So to be honest, I think it was when I started your class, right? So writing was used to typing right now. So writing is outside the window. So started getting used to it. Started type. I could not see my handwriting. I'm like, oh my god, it's so bad, it's pathetic. I couldn't understand my own handwriting, so it became like that. But then I started getting used to it. Started writing down things from I think from the 12 principles and the 4 values. Started writing. Started getting used to it, and
Okay.
then yeah, took it forward. So it was basically looking at the videos and then writing, jolting down points, and then going according to that.
Nice, nice, nice. And I believe you followed a Mike Griffith book by any chance?
So it was completely on Mike Griffith. So I did not look at the Agile Principles book, right? So I didn't look at that. It was completely focused towards Mike Griffith. I think about 400 or 600 odd pages. I'm not sure.
Right,
So
right.
I was going through that. The other book, it was quite less, 166 pages.
Agile practice guide.
Practice guide, yeah. So it was only 166 odd pages. So I just had gone through it once, but the primary focus, 90% was Mike Griffith.
We have to give the credit to Mike Griffith, man. This guy written a good book. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Such a wonderful book. I know. You read concepts second time, you'll get a different feel of it. What he's trying to tell. A lot of examples, well explained. We have to give the credit to him.
Yes.
And yeah, good. You read that book. In fact, Agile Practice Guide, it's very highly needed now for the PMP people. So all these PMP people are reading the Agile Practice Guide left and right, and they're also getting into Mike Griffith now slowly.
Yeah, I think Mike Griffith, though it's so people might think it's very vast, right? Because seeing the book, but
yeah,
it covers a lot more detailing into that, and you'll get a holistic view of what's at least
exactly. Exactly. Especially I like the chapter number 5, which talks about adaptive planning. He would explain a lot of planning related, what all integrities are there on sizing and Fibonacci sequence. So those things I too have in other books, but Mike's explanation is really good. So now, what do you read? Are you able to implement in your corporate? Are you able to do that? Certain points?
Well, to get started, I would say we never had something called a DoD definition. Definition. So you had initially told we should always go in those lines, and so it made sense, right? A DOR also, a DoD also made sense. So
right.
From the product side, so I was in the middle. So looking from the product standpoint, it made sense to have a DOR. So I tried to implement that. Yeah, there was pushback. Why that too much of process, heavy weighted process, but then it made sense. But once after one and a half sprint, when they actually had to go back and say what was the requirements and what was agreed upon, it was mentioned there in that document. Because at least part of it was mentioned. So that is something which actually got visibility also completely, because they never had that. And again, they had no idea I was doing the certification also. Okay, right? So I learned on those lines. I tried to implement it. It worked out. Yeah, it was
Good.
implemented.
Good, Abhishek. I know the agile thing is something a little tough. They call it a servant leader, right? You can't force a team. Even if your wording slightly go heavy, they'll feel, oh, this guy doing bossing, right? Many times it happens in a corporate, right? Now you tell, hey, definition of ready is very important. Why are you showing a finger like that? You should ask like this. Too much servant leader, man. So please accept these things will work, but it will take time to people to agree that it will work. As you rightly said, you tried. I like the word tried, because you cannot do it. You have to tell them, guys, it will work. So they have to accept it. That's not that easy. Overnight, it won't happen. Okay, that's quite good, quite good. And on the preparation side, you read the Mike Griffith. You took all the chapter tests in Mike Griffith, I believe. Correct. Yeah. And how many practice exams you have to go through?
So mock exams, I took about 5 to 6, to be honest. So in fact, my exam was a Proctor-based exam, right? So before the exam, I think you guys had arranged a mock-up exam, right? So
Agile.
Before it was about on a Sunday. It was a recently started program by ShriLearning. So what happened was I took the exam again. Then my score came down. I'm like, oh my god. But then I figured that I had to quickly brush on those topics. and I went for the exam.
Nice,
Right.
nice,
So
nice.
mock-up exams, I would say that's a very big motivator. It's a big boost because you would see your percentage increase. So initially it was at 50s, 58s, then comes to 70s, then 70s, and things like that. That helped a lot, and it really is a big confidence boost, at least before the exam.
Right, Abhishek. So what we did is we introduced this Sunday Agile exams. Right. Okay, it is for both the PMI and PMP and ACP. ACP people find they'll manage. PMP people, sometimes the questions will be bouncer. See, for them, see, they know what is velocity, that's it. But in question, if you see they drill you with inside alarm velocity, they were, man, too heavy. So now what is happening is people preparing for PMP also getting ready for ACP. So in a way, but good that you made an effort there. And talk about the exam experience. I know it's a 3 hours exam and 120 questions, right? So are they giving break in the exam or is it one stretch?
So I would definitely, mine was a Proctor base. It was that COVID time, right? We couldn't go ahead. So initially it was actually planned for Feb. It was pushed from Feb because of the COVID restrictions. So again, I had to postpone it twice. It was center based. So I was like, let me just do it online. Now, when I sat the exam, the 3-hour exam, right? First time I'm looking at the Proctor based thing. So your entire screen gets locked.
Yep.
Asleep. I have the antivirus updates that keep coming. So that got stuck. So 3/4 of the question is gone on that.
You got to close it.
Yeah, I couldn't close it. The screen is frozen right now. So I had to reach. So at least 45 minutes to 1 hour went in troubleshooting from their end and my end to get it sorted. Right. So they asked me to restart it again. The timer was going. I restarted. I came back. So they asked me. So I was very close to moving my exam. I was this close. It's like they asked me, "Do you want to push it?" I don't know what happened. God's grace, I was like, "No, let's leave it. I could do it again." So I restarted it, and I don't know, that pushed me. So yeah, so that was ahead. But in a Proctor-based exam, 3 hours straight to answer your question, 3 hours straight, you're just going to be sitting. So one thing I've noticed in this is you have to be focused to the screen. You can't be sitting here like this, like even in fact, I have a habit of at least while thinking to use the pen or something like this, right?
Rolling like this.
Yeah. So I don't know. So they had clearly instructed not to use pen and things. So they had captured that again. So they reached out. It's like, please keep your pen at least in 1 arm's distance from the system. So I kept it there. So I was reading the questions. So I couldn't even read. So a lot of things by practice, which are used to, exam life and things like that, right? I read the questions and try to get the answer for that and just think like that. So all that was noted and be like, please do not read out the question. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So 3 hours, it was at one point of time, like, just get with it. Just get done with it.
God,
yeah.
I understand. Right. I know it's a Proctor exam. Sometimes goes smooth, sometimes tough. Is it a personal laptop? What you used?
It's an office laptop. From what I've used.
Okay, kind recommendation to all the viewers. It's Abhishek has given a valuable point. We shouldn't use office laptop because there's a firewall running. So what's the meaning? If somebody want to know about it, viewers who are watching this video, firewall, what it does is it won't allow another application to overtake this computer. It has to protect. That's the role of the firewall. Now, what happened is PMI application, how it works is once it loaded, it will lock your keyboard, lock your camera, lock your mic. So if somebody want to lock it, your firewall won't allow. So there is a fight keep on happening between both of the guys. So whoever win the game, the exam will happen. So you would be the middle guy between these two fight. So better recommended is go with a personal laptop or disable firewall. Okay, that's a stuff. Cool, man. But still in this 3 hours, you had this much of fight.
Yeah, it's a nice experience.
By the way, tell about the questions. See, Agile, I have written Scrum certification. I have written scaled Agile exams. These all how it will be is directly to the point. Asking, hey, how many core values in this particular methodology? What is Scrum? Okay. What is the role of servant leader? Kind of straight it will be, maybe 1 or 2 straight will be there. When it comes to ACP, you feel that kind of straight questions, or are they putting some situation and make you to think?
So from the exam that I've taken, there was absolutely no straight question. Right? It was completely situational based, meaning if you are in this position, and so if you're good with the concepts, at least you understand the concepts, and it's easy to crack that. They would definitely put you in that situation or make you think in that, saying that, okay, this is what you have to do. Say the team is looking for something of a roadmap or something. How would you position it and things like that. So the options, very interesting words they would use. I think IELTS or TOEFL based words as well, and the questions will be based on that, and the options are like that. So it is not direct. I don't think, maybe hardly one or two questions can be. That's it. Most of it was situation. So I was also wondering, like, why is there any easy question? Everything looks like such big questions. We had to think.
Yeah, man, these guys are brutal in the question answer. I don't know who prepared this question paper. These guys are. When I did the ACP exam, I'm not aware of these ACP, how they'll ask question, because Scrum certification, from there I came. Right. That always straightforward. 2 days before, one guy took exam in my batch. That guy lost the exam. He called me, Shriram, exam is not easy, man. These guys are not asking anything from the book. From the book, they're taking only the concept. From there, they drill you all in real life. So please close the book, think on real life, and start answering. Within 2 days, where you'll think real life. So what I did, good thing is, I took all the 12 principles and start understanding each principle, how it will connect with my real life. So our highest priority is to deliver quality software to the customer. Okay. Our highest priority. So it's a priority means what we have to do. Simplicity, the art of maximizing amount of work not done. What they mean by simplicity. So every principle I took half an hour, 1 hour to understand what they're trying to say here. And I'll tell you, that is a literal thing helped me in the exam. If I understand these 12 principles depth in real life, most of the questions will be around that. Right? That's what I felt. How was for your experience? Did you felt that the principles somehow map?
So I had gone by that approach itself. So I had typed out the 12 principles in the Proctor board, right? They have a board there. So this exam I had typed it out, and also the values, whatever that came in my mind, I also typed in the pillars of Scrum, everything I typed. And for each question post that, I was referring to that. The 12
you type it in the whiteboard they give us.
Yes.
Wow, man, that's cool idea. Okay.
I typed 12 principles there, and then looked at each question based on that. At least try to relate. Is it related? And if it's straightforward in understanding, for example, like adaptive leadership and things like that, that you could get the concepts. But anything situational based, I used to completely refer to the 12 principles and go by.
Super. So it will be a pop-up white window. Yes. How does it? It's a pop-up.
It's like a pop-up. They have a whiteboard. They also, so initially I was worried in terms of calculations also, right? If have any calculation-based questions, how do we do it? I don't have a calci, I can't use a phone also. So they even provide a calci on top, and also a whiteboard where you can type in stuff and things like that.
So when you say whiteboard, only when the first question come up, you get the whiteboard access. So when you typed it, when you had a time to type it?
So I think when the timer was running, so when the questions had come up, at that time,
you typed it.
Yeah, it's not perfect. Like I just made it. So I remember you made the short forms for 12.
Right.
On those lines, just for my understanding, I just typed it out.
Yeah. Sixth principle says face-to-face communication is effective. Right? You can tell face-to-face communication. Okay, that's good, man. I think I like the strategy. Go back and see so that it's well connected. Super. Now, since you spoke about calculation, calci, something popping up. What kind of calculations come for you? Velocity?
So there was only 2 questions, and both related to the velocity part. Again, completely situation. I'm not able to recollect the question as such, but
not needed. But do we need to put the calculation or just tell the answer?
No, calculation a bit. It's just a basic calculation. It's nothing in depth of it or something. You could easily map it out on the whiteboard and just calculate.
Perfect. Super. That's great. So for anyone newly learning for Agile, what will be your advice and thought process?
My advice is just be understand those 12 principles, right? Focus the exam based on the 12 principles, and then at least read the Griffith book once or twice, understand the concepts, and especially take the mock-up exams, right? you take at least four. So I consider myself as a very slow learner. So I took at least 5-6 exams, right? And then was confident, only then went through it. But then, yeah, for a good paced learner, I think 4 to 5 mock-ups, you should
Right.
be.
Which simulator you used for exams?
I think ShriLearning was one. Actually, ShriLearning was one, and then I don't know, Simply Learn or something was there. I think
whichever is available in the internet, you picked up. I think ShriLearning, we have 3 full exams.
Correct.
3 full. Okay, that's fine. I think for Agile, we get a lot of questions in the market. You just go, people keep posting a lot. Okay, it's easily available for Agile.
Yeah. One more thing I would like to say is the questions that Rahul had put, right? So that was also there in my WhatsApp, open WhatsApp web, see the questions. So from history, I think from the time of I joined the group, the questions were there. So I took each one and tried to map it out as well. It helped a lot.
Every day you have a question coming up.
Yeah. So that was also helping.
Nice. Good to know that. So it's a really interesting journey. You listen to classes and then you prepare the book with Griffith, then you practice questions. One thing I really observed is you are put into a position to be an Agile leader in the corporate. So then you took up a challenge and you learn the things now. I'm sure it's going to help you. And also you say that I'm trying to implement it. I really like that terminology because you can't force it. Because we too have the situation every time in the corporate. We tell team, please ask questions, and they'll keep quiet in the most of the meeting. They'll expect manager will ask question. Let us keep quiet. We have to tell team, you have to ask question. Then tell, no, we can't ask, you have to ask. And the man, you are empowered. You have to tell them that you are empowered. Oh, really? I'm empowered? Yes, you are empowered. You have to ask right question with the right customer. If you don't ask question, work will be tedious. That's why we have DOR, DOD, sprint planning or refinement. They don't accept and agree. So it takes little time. Good, Good, Abhishek. I really appreciate that.
There was one more thing. So even in implementing, right, it's so I think it's a general misconception or the way it's looking at is you are being in type of a coach role, and it's only for the engineering team, you're coaching them and things like that. But in terms of the Agile principles, right, the concepts that they've used, you can actually use that in your team as well, in the product teams and things like that. So I started using it at both. I started getting it there also. So if you're looking at an end product that you're giving it to a customer or something like a DOR helps in what and all, but change it as per your thing. So it actually helped me a lot in terms of my work as well, at least putting some process around it. Yeah.
Very good. I believe all the appraisal cycle comes up well for you.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so they see the video.
By the way, did you circulate your certificate in your office telling that, hey, I'm certified?
I think most of them are on LinkedIn. They figured it out. Congrats on the new milestone. Yeah, thanks.
Right. See, problem is many don't know the difference between PMP, PMI-ACP, or they don't know the depth of it. They'll say, another exam. That's it, right? You'll go sit and write exam. It's easy, man. Tick, A, B, C, D. You tell them, you go and write, then you know that.
Multiple choice. I think they'll be like, oh, you took advantage of the lockdown. Good, you study. It's quite easy. I'm like,
you tell to anyone, it is a question which will have choices A, B, C, D. Oh, answer is given. Then what's the problem?
yeah, that's there.
I sometimes talk to these people. They say the answer is given, right? What's the big deal? I better stop them. Okay, thanks, man. You please proceed on your job.
Yeah.
You can explain you. That's a point. Great, man. Good to know. So now, Abhishek, thanks a lot for coming up here and keep moving more in Agile path because Agile is really vibrating the market. I think you mentioned about ART, Agile Release Train.
Yeah.
I think you went to advanced level, scaled Agile.
That's more looking at more stuff and reading through
Right. Recently, we conducted a batch last week for Scaled Agile. So we can see people come for PMP, they learn ACP Agile, then they go for Scaled Agile. Scaled Agile is something happening in the market, which puts whatever we learn now together and do it for multiple teams, right? So people are learning towards it. So good wishes for your success and leadership path. Keep doing more. You're in the right place, right time. So all will be good for you. Good wishes, right? And good wishes to all the viewers who are watching this video and let your success path go furthermore and you win the exams. All the best. Let's give wishes to Abhishek and give your congratulations in the comments and likes. Thanks all for watching this video.
Thanks.